Before we begin, step into the unknown. If you enjoy mysteries, legends, and the unexplained, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And now, let's begin our journey down the Silk Road. Welcome to Dreamland. Here we will talk about the mystery of dreams and what they are. Close your eyes. Breathe in. And now, let go. For the next few moments, nothing else matters. Not the weight of the world, not the ticking clock, only this moment, only the unknown. Welcome to Dreamland, a place where reality blurs, where time bends, where anything is possible. What are dreams? Are they just scattered thoughts, echoes of our waking life? Are they the mind's way of processing, of making sense of the world? Or are they something more? A glimpse into perhaps another life, a message from something greater, a doorway into a world we were never meant to remember. Tonight, we explore the mystery of dreams, their purpose, their power, and the questions they leave behind. Science tells us that dreams are simply the brain at work. When we sleep, our minds don't rest. They become more active than ever. Thoughts tangle, memories resurface, fears and desires take form. This is what we call dreaming. Most dreams happen during REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement. In this state, the brain fires electrical signals, creating stories, emotions that feel real, and even entire worlds in the blink of an eye. But here's the strange part. Despite spending nearly 6 years of our lives dreaming, we forget 90% of our dreams within minutes of waking up. Why? Why do we dream at all if we're never meant to remember? Some scientists believe dreams serve a purpose, processing emotions, rehearsing for real-life scenarios, strengthening memory. Others suggest they're nothing more than electrical noise, a side effect of sleep. But if dreams are meaningless, why do they sometimes feel more real than reality itself? For thousands of years, dreams have been seen as more than just imagination. In ancient Egypt, dreams were messages from the gods, visions of the future. In many Native American traditions, dreams were journeys, spiritual travels beyond the body. And in ancient China, it was believed that dreams were a bridge between worlds, a place where the soul wandered freely while the body slept. Even today, many believe dreams carry meaning. Have you ever had a dream that felt more than just a dream? A message, maybe a warning, or perhaps a presence that you really couldn't explain. Some say our dreams reveal hidden truths about ourselves, about the universe, and also about people that we hold dear to our hearts. Some say that they allow us to see what our waking minds cannot. Are they mere reflections of our thoughts, or are they whispers from something greater? Dreams are strange, mysterious, but some things about them are even stranger. Did you know that some people dream in black and white? Before color television, it was far more common. Now, most people dream in full color. You can't read in dreams. Words and numbers constantly shift, making reading impossible for most dreamers. Your mind can't create faces. Every face you see in a dream, you've seen it somewhere before, even if you don't remember. There's a rare condition where people can't dream at all. It's called Charcot-Wilburn syndrome. Those who have it lose the ability to visualize dreams entirely. Lucid dreaming is real. Some people can train themselves to become aware inside their dreams, controlling them, like the waking world. The more we learn about dreams, the more questions we uncover. So what are dreams, really? Could they be a psychological process? Some believe they are simply the mind organizing thoughts, clearing out unnecessary information, like a cosmic filing system. Could they be maybe a parallel reality? Others suggest dreams are not imagined, actually, but experienced. That when we sleep, our souls travel to other timelines, other dimensions, or other lives that we've lived before in the past. Could dreams be a spiritual message? Many believe dreams are communication from ancestors, spirit guides, even the universe itself. That, in the quiet of sleep, we are more open to receiving messages we would otherwise ignore. And then there are those who say dreams prove reality is not what we think. That the dream world is just as real as this one, and when we wake up, we are simply returning to a different dream. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: dreams have meaning, and sometimes they leave us with more than just questions. They leave us with feelings, with images burned into our minds long after we wake up, with moments that feel real, even when we know they shouldn't. And that's what we're about to explore next. A dream, a message, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Let's begin. The shadow named Brian, a journey through the unseen. The thin veil between dreams and reality. Dreams are strange things. They exist in a space between what we know and what we don't. Sometimes they're fleeting, forgotten the moment we wake up. Other times, they stay with us, lingering in our minds like a story we haven't quite finished reading. And then there are the dreams that feel different, the ones that feel real, not just in what we see, but in what we feel. A presence, a knowing, a moment that shifts something inside of us, even after we open our eyes. I had a dream like that once. It wasn't a nightmare, it wasn't a vision either, but it was something that made me question everything. And strangely enough, it all started with a name I instinctively knew, though I had never heard it before myself. Brian. The dream began in my grandmother's house, a place I know well, a place that should have felt familiar, but something was different. I wasn't alone. It wasn't a feeling of fear, more like the subtle awareness that someone was there. Like the moment before you turn around, already knowing you'll meet someone's gaze. I was on FaceTime with a friend, casually talking, when she said something that made my breath catch. "Who's that man in the bathroom with you?" Her voice wasn't panicked. It wasn't joking. Just matter of fact. Like she was pointing out something obvious that I should have just known. I turned, confused. I was alone. Or I thought I was. I lifted my phone, angling the camera, And then, just barely, I saw it. A figure, a presence, shifting just beyond my sight, moving as I moved, hiding as I looked, a glimpse of a face, braids, a shadow that wasn't quite a shadow. And in that moment, somehow, I knew its name. Brian. There's a strange thing that happens when you become aware of something that was always there. The moment you see it, it can no longer hide. I had felt this presence before. The moments of unexplained ease. The times I thought I was talking to myself. But maybe I wasn't. Had Brian always been there? And if so, why was he revealing himself now? I didn't feel threatened, but I did feel challenged. Like I had been given a question I needed to answer, though I didn't yet know what it was. And then, the dream shifted. I was no longer in my grandmother's house. The scene had changed, but Brian remained. This time, he wasn't hiding. I saw him clearly, his form shifting, adapting, as if struggling to hold one shape. Sometimes a shadow, sometimes a man, sometimes something in between. And for the first time, I wasn't just watching. I fought him. Not out of fear, not out of anger, but out of a deep, instinctual need to reclaim something, to prove something to myself, to him, to whatever force had placed us in this space together. I felt that I had to. Blows landed. The struggle was real. I felt every moment of it, as tangible as anything in waking life. And with each strike, he changed, morphing, adapting, as if revealing different versions of himself, testing which one I would recognize. But I didn't falter. I didn't run. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, it ended. I stood there, breathing heavily, and for the first time since the dream began, Brian was gone. Not just out of sight, gone. And in his absence, something settled inside of me, a quiet understanding. This wasn't just a dream, it was something more. Dreams like this happen without reason. They are messages, reflections, or one might say that they're guides. Here, I could give the worldly interpretation of what this dream might mean. From a psychological standpoint, this dream could represent something deeply internal, an unseen presence in my life, whether an aspect of myself or an energy lingering around me. Perhaps the representation of changing identities, of something that refuses to stay defined, would explain the shifting form of Brian. As far as the fight goes, a struggle against an invisible force, a subconscious need to confront something that has been following me for longer than I realized. As far as the presence of the thing itself, maybe a lingering thought, an old memory, a subconscious fear finally brought to light. In a literal sense, this dream could be urging me to pay attention, to question what is unseen, to recognize patterns in my own thoughts and experiences, to face something rather than let it exist in the background. Now, from a spiritual aspect. But what if this wasn't just my subconscious? What if Brian was something else? A spirit guide, a watcher, an energy connected to me in ways I don't yet understand. Something that had been walking beside me, unseen, waiting for the moment I was ready to notice. And once I saw it, once I became aware of it, it could no longer exist in the same way. The fight in this case was not just resistance, it was an awakening, a test, a transformation, one might even say. Brian tried to remain unseen, but when I saw him, truly saw him, he had no choice but to reveal himself. And in doing so, he lost his grip on whatever he once was. Maybe that's the lesson here. Once we see what was always there, we change it. We take control of it. And in doing so, we take control of ourselves. Some dreams fade the moment we wake up. Others stay with us, not because they were dreams, but because they were something else. Maybe Brian was just a thought. Maybe he was something real. Maybe he was a part of me, or maybe something outside of me entirely. But one thing is certain. He's gone now. And in his absence, I'm left with a question. Not who was he, but rather, what was I meant to see? This was my dream, my experience. But dreams are personal, unique to each of us, carrying messages we may not always understand at first. If you've had a dream that lingers, one that felt different, one that felt real, reach out, share it, and together we can explore what it might mean. Because sometimes the answers we're looking for are already waiting for us in the dream.